broker and financial expert. And today we're going to be talking about what you can do if you are not able to pay the rent. Many people, as we know, are not able to pay the rent because they got reduced hours and lost their jobs. Now, the fact is that if people had savings, as long as the landlord gets paid, the credit cards get paid, nobody cares if you work or not. But the truth is, if they don't get paid, that's when the problem comes in. Now, the logic is that people want to be understood, and they want to understood that this was not foreseen, and they want to break. And a lot of people haven't paid, and they want the landlords or um, building companies to give them a break. Whatever the bank give them a break, to pass on the breaks. And I'm sure they have, and a lot of them have, and if they're able to, they have. But many of them only has postponed them, and so now it's getting closer to where you have to start making payments, and people are not able to make it, and now evictions are in place. So a lot of people, what they do is either they 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 hold on to the place until they get evicted and put their stuff out in the lawn, or they leave in the middle of the night. And frankly, the best way to go about it is if you're not able to pay where you live. Now you have to understand that there's investors in the other side. If you live in a complex, or a landlord who buys the property for investment purposes so they could get some income out of that, they expect that money to come in order for them to have a living as well. So that is a problem. So you cannot hold on, you cannot live anywhere in the world without paying for where you live. Either, unless it's charity, then they let you live like that for free. But many places, it's no way. Now, the argument is a lot of people say, well, who's going to come in and take these places? They cannot afford it. That is not the case, because unfortunately, it's very divided. A lot of people are still holding on to their jobs, and life is as usual for them. Other than working from home, the money's coming in and they're paying their bills. And so they're able to move. And now, if you're in these circumstances, it feels like you're the only one in the world with these problems, and everybody else has these problems as well, you and the whole world. But the truth is that that's not the case. We want everybody to have sympathy, and totally understand. But for people who are not affected, they're like, oh, that's too bad, and they go on with their lives. So going back to what you can do, the best thing you can do is talk to your landlord. Ask them to, or your building company, to release you from the lease so it doesn't show like a broken lease on your credit bureau. Preventing that from going to the bureau. Um, some people would say, well, everybody's they're gonna know during the pandemic and they're gonna not worry, it's not gonna affect you too much. Perhaps, but unfortunately, time passed and people forget. And the best thing to do is, if it was never hit your credit report, that's the best thing. That way it doesn't affect you, because you still need your credit for everything, everything. So unless you're paying cash, you're gonna need your credit score. So don't let this affect you. If you could prevent it by asking them to release you from the contract without penalties and without uh, putting that negative mark on your credit report. Now, if they do put that negative mark in their credit report, and they're entitled to, because if you're behind, then you could put a notation on each of the bureaus that let you, in each account, this, not rebuttal, but like a memo stating why was the reasons you were not able to pay the rent. And that's what you could say: because of the pandemic, I lost my job. And so that's where it will go. But if you could, that is just extra work already added to the fact that people need to find income to survive. So minimizing damages is the best way to go about it. Confronting them so you don't have to leave in the middle of the night, and that you don't have to have your stuff taken out on the lawn and being evicted. Now, if you go that far as being evicted, you better be sure, if it's a small company, that they want to get their money back. If it's a bigger company, maybe they will let you go. They will hurt your credit and they'll let you go, because nobody can hold you against your will, but they could damage your credit in the process. Now, the other option is that if you're not able to, well, those are the options. If you cannot pay, you may have to move. But you can move with other family members until you get back in your feet. You can move with roommates, roommates in plural, because now you could have two families, rent a house and live in that home until things stabilize. Um, and just trying to reduce uh, expenses. But the biggest expenses is housing. And so that's what I suggest. I hope this has helped you. Till next time.